And I can't continue to say, okay, it's okay for you to do this. La, da, 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 da. It's not okay. The bill comes due. Do you understand? At 22, you have all these cases. Good morning, Mr. Jackson. Good morning. So, Amy, we spoke about this last week.
Yes, Judge.
I denied him a bond last week.
Yes.
Has anything changed?
No, Judge. It's the last week I know on.
Tell me, I don't even remember. What does he want it for?
He's wanted from Broomfield County, Colorado for failure to appear for burglary. It was issued in October of 2023. He's also here in Harris County for invading other vehicles. He also has other criminal history that we can go into, but it would need to be offline stream.
Okay, I remember that. Okay.
Judge, yes. First, criminal history. I don't know how much we should go into that. We are here.
Don't go into anything that's.
No, just
we're going to.
It's not something I want to go into anyways. I don't think it's relevant to whether or not he's going to turn himself into Colorado or not. I think if we focus on that, the argument is that he would like an opportunity to go turn himself into Colorado for this pending case. He hasn't been found guilty out there. He's presumed innocent. He would like the opportunity to go turn himself in. He hasn't messed up in your court before. He hasn't been given that opportunity before. And he is not asking for a PR bond. He's asking for a bond sufficient enough to guarantee that he will go turn himself in over there. He has family members here in court today showing their support for him. He's got 3 family members. After talking with them, they are inclined to help him make a bond as well. They understand the risks. He understands the risks if he doesn't turn himself in over there. He understands the complications of having to meet his court date deadlines. And so we are just asking for you to consider giving him a sufficient bond to go turn himself in.
Who's here? Mom?
Judge, we have his sister. We have his sister-in-law, his girlfriend, and his cousin. Sister-in-law, and girlfriend.
Thank you for coming, God. Really, I appreciate you coming. You're welcome to come up if you want.
And these are the family members that would be responsible for helping him post the bond. They would be posting the bond for him, and they understand the risks involved.
Sure. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. You know, and I told this to Mr. Jackson about a week and a half ago. There are several things that I look at when I give someone a bond. One of the things I look at is their prior criminal history, what they have done, how old they are, and whether they've left a wake of just destruction in their path. Mr. Jackson is very young. He's what, 20, 22? And in the short time that he's been alive, he's managed to rack up a ton of cases. Just here in Harris County, an evading that was dismissed in 2021, he picked up a felony theft in 24, an evading arrest in 24. He has a fugitive case out of another jurisdiction of another state. And now he picked up here 2 weeks ago, another evading arrest. So the common theme that we have here is I'm going to take off and I'm going to try to evade. That's the common theme that we have. And the 2 things that I don't want are, number 1, I don't want him to pick up another case. And most importantly, I don't want my public to be in danger. These are the things that I consider. What does he want it for out of state?
Failure to appear for burglary.
And now he has another burglary in another state for failure to appear for that. At what point do we say boom? So my point is that the problem is that if I give him a bond and he just takes off, all you guys are going to lose out on all that money. And what happens if he picks up another charge? So these are the things that I consider. And this is why I denied him a bond the first time, is because the the common theme that we have here is that in the short time that he's been an adult, there's a ton of evading and flight cases. That's why I didn't want to give him a bond. Because in my opinion, he already has 3 flight cases. Do we need a 4th? And that's what scares me. Carter.
Judge, considering all that, considering his family's here, we would be asking for an amount that ensures his attendance in Colorado. I think by putting an amount on his case, it would ensure that he hasn't had this opportunity before. He hasn't had a risk of losing money before. This risk would ensure that he does what's right and turns himself in over there.
But he has, though. You know, he has. He got out in Colorado, failed to appear on that. He's constantly trying to evade, you know, here as well. It's a constant thing. And I can't continue to say, okay, it's okay for you to do this. La, da, 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 da. It's not okay. The bill comes due. Do you understand? At 22, you have all these cases. Life is hard enough as a young black man in today's society as it is. And now with all this, really? You want a pat on the back for all this? Do you want me to just, no. Now the bill comes due.
Judge, if I may, respectfully, one of the things that I wanted to do was look into the Colorado system to see if it was actually a failure to appear or if this was a sort of like a to-be warrant here in Texas. I wasn't able to log into that system over there, and I don't think we can make the distinction on whether or not it was a to-be warrant based on the documents that have been filed, or if this is one of those situations where he missed a court date.
Regardless,
Okay.
all we have are someone constantly trying to evade capture. They're trying to evade police one way or the other. I have a feeling if I let him out, the same thing's going to happen, you know, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want you to pick up a 4th case, 5th case. I certainly don't want anyone to be injured. And that's it. At 22, all this baggage, it's not going to happen, man. The bill comes due. I certainly appreciate you guys coming. I know that you've taken a lot out to be here today. It's just too much baggage. I'm sorry. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you for your consideration.
Of course. Anton.
Do I need to be quiet or just don't do that? Do you want to move out of the place? Or do you want
When did we order enter the order for the Moab?
We were in court last Thursday. It was initial appearance last Thursday, I believe, or
So
Wednesday.
my question to you is this, is that we have an order for protection that does not allow him to go back to the house and that continues to remain in effect,
Yes, sir.
doesn't it?
Yes, sir. 61 days.
Mr. Lopez, you need to understand this because this is very important. This is something that needs to be researched because you're entering into this agreement where you could be possibly let out within the next couple of days. However, there's an order for protection that has been entered. You're not to go back to this location within that period of time. Because if you do, you could be facing an additional violation of protective order. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
So, life is way too short to live in fear. And it's not fair. It's not fair that anybody should have to live in fear. You know, you have significant criminal history. And everything here that you've had here is because of no self-control. What's it going to take to get you to realize that you just can't pop off like that? Is it going to take a 15, 20-year sentence to get you to realize this the hard way? Consider this when you're out there. If I say this, what's going to happen? If I do this, what's going to happen? Because you could very well be a 15 to life case the next time you pick something up. It's not hard. If you get upset, walk away. But please, don't let them live in fear. Life's too short to end up in a 6x9 box for the next 20 years. You understand? So it's not fair, especially someone who's raised you, fed you, clothed you, loved you for 20-something years. It's not fair. Consider that. You're charged with terroristic threat of a family or household member. You've worked out an agreement where they're offering you 50 days in jail with credit for the 9 days that you've done. I'd like there to be an affirmative. Okay, there is an affirmative finding of family violence in this case. You need to understand that this is very, very important because another case like this, there's an affirmative finding of family violence in this case, meaning you can never own a gun or ammunition. The other thing you need to realize is that if you pick up another one of these like this, you could be very well facing a 3rd-degree felony. And because of the pen trips, you pick up another 3rd degree, you could be looking at potentially a 5 to life case, maybe 15 to life. So that's what I'm saying. Be careful. Do you understand? I do. They're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement today, there's no turning back. It will go on your record. It's going to be there forever. Like I said, there's an affirmative finding of family violence. So you can never own a gun or ammunition as a result of this plea today. Also, the next one, you could be very well facing many, many years in prison. You understand?
I do.
So you still want to do this? How do you plead to the offense of terroristic threat of a family or household member? I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to the 50 days, give you credit for the 9. Please, just let them be. All right? All right. Good luck, Mr. Lopez. Thank you, counsel. You too. Also, just a moment. Hold on. Yes, it was. I signed it.
I thought it was. I only see the motion for the MOAB, not a signed MOAB itself.
I thought it was good.
Your Honor, on Lopez, I want to bring to your attention, I'm looking at deeds. I only see the state's motion for the MOAB. I don't see it.
I specifically did a MOAB in this case last time. I don't know why it's not
I
signed.
thought it was addressed.
And I don't see it signed in deeds.
Signed Friday?
Because the motion was on the 26th.
I did it the last time we were here in court.
I think I do remember.
Hell, I need a fly swatter.
And
You see that?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you got a fly swatter?
We saw it. Oh, I don't know.
So I'd like to enter it in then,
Not opposed to it.
you know? So I'm going to undo the plea.
Okay.
I'm going to enter in the MOA and then we'll do the plea again.
Yes, sir.
Because I want to make sure that there's no issues with this thing.
Yes, sir.
All right, coming up, Mr. Lopez. So I didn't sign the plea.
There's no entries, nothing.
Okay, so hold on, let me do the MOA first. So I'm entering in what's called a magistrate's order of emergency protection that identifies Ms. Solis as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of the Bower Creek residence. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
If you violate this, the state can and probably will file a violation of a protective order. This includes you cannot text them, you cannot message them, you cannot use social media to reach out to them, you cannot use, Snapchat, you cannot use someone else to try to get in contact with them. No contact whatsoever. Do you understand?
I do.
This order is good for 61 days from today. So if you go over there, it's going to be an issue. You understand?
I do.
Okay. So I want to sign first now the MOA.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll now do the plea again.
It's here, Judge.
Mr. Lopez, I want to protect every person in my county, and I'm going to do it at all costs. Do you understand?
I do.
All right, so let's do this plea again. You're now charged again with the offense of terroristic threat of a family or household member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. They've offered you 50 days in jail, credit for the 9 days that you've done. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers if you're not a citizen. There are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. There is an affirmative finding of family violence. How do you plead on this case? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'm going to find you guilty. Now we will sentence you on the case. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Lopez. Make me proud, man. That's all I'm asking to do. All right.
Consultado bond conditions. We removed the address restriction on the MOA, but we didn't want it on the bond conditions as well, right?
No.
Okay, I'll have the refund.
Yeah. Okay.
Judge, I wanted to approach on a fugitive case. I wanted to see if we could bring him out